Podcast, a Star Wars show. We've got the Bad Batch finale to discuss today. We also have Mando Chapter 21, The Pirate. Things have really had a good week for Star Wars, so please be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you aren't already, hit the bell so you get notifications for future episodes, and then be looking for our revitalized audio. I've been working behind the scenes a little bit, trying to get our audio going to Spotify and iTunes again. And hopefully we're able to get that back on the market for you guys, because I know that is the primary way to consume a show that is this long. No one wants to look at these ugly mugs that long. So keep your eyes open for that, and make sure you subscribe.
I'll get my Mandalorian helmet and just wear it.
Dude, I think we might get more views if you did. Say no more. Does it fit on your head? I haven't actually seen it on your head at all.
Yes, it fits.
Yeah, I think of that.
All right, now you gotta try to talk.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah, just fine. No, it's perfect.
All right,
my nose just touches. My nose touches the visor.
I don't know if I can. Yeah, I think that.
This is now your character, John.
This is the way.
You can't take it off either.
I'll never see
Dude, I won't. I'm not gonna be able to take it seriously. It's like those. Is it Robot Head? You guys know who Robot Head is? He won't show his face, and whenever he does videos, he always keeps a helmet like that on. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, that's better.
Sounds like a YouTuber.
Yeah, he's a YouTuber. All right, so audio's working, John?
I think so. Can you? How's that? Oh, that audio. No, I gotta check that still, which is gonna be a little tough.
Sorry, John. You can take the helmet off.
Well, I'm already committed. I'm committed.
All right. So, anyways, Dale Erdman says he hears you fine. Dale, good to have you back in the chat again. Thanks a lot. Good to have you on. I remember you were on a few months ago, maybe. So good to have you.
Is he the one that had some good interaction?
Yeah, we had some good interaction with Dale a while back. So a little bit later stream this week, I had a coaching clinic I was at the past few days, so we put it to Saturday instead of Thursday. So you probably formed quite a few opinions and whatnot on these last couple episodes from Star Wars, but I figure we'll start with Mando, discuss how we felt about that episode, and move on. And I would say this was my favorite episode of the season so far. You guys disagree, or would you be on the same page?
Agreed.
2.
Number 2, what was your favorite?
Mine's a Mandalore.
Oh, the Mines was your favorite?
Yeah.
Episode 2.
That would be 2, yes. Yeah, 2 was good. It did drive the story forward between Bo and Mando. I guess it was cool to see all the Mandalorians coming together and fighting. Kind of like what I asked for last week, where I said, yeah, it was fun having the Mandalorians like doing something, but they were fighting against a pterodactyl. I would have rather seen them fighting I even said in the episode, I would have rather seen them fighting the pirates than this. So I would have rather this episode just kind of replace last week's episode, because I feel like they both kind of had the same gist. I don't know. After watching this week, I really felt like last week was another not needed episode. You know what I mean? But we do see that Bo-Katan is a trusted member of the tribe now, based off of last week's episode, and she's a valued member. And she was even put in charge of leading this mission to go to Navarro to rescue Grief Karga and whatnot. So it did all fit together. I mean, this episode really culminated everything that's happened in the past 4 and said, all right, going to get into it now. And everything that we've seen in the past 4 episodes is culminating into this one. So I thought that made sense. But overall, I thought it was quite the good episode. You guys?
I don't know why. I've just been having a hard time remembering what happens in this episode. Honestly, so I rewatched it again today and totally forgot what happened.
Really?
I don't know why. And then I was like, oh yeah, this is the one with I totally forgot the pirates are in it.
Interesting.
Granted, this has been a busy week. But...
Okay, sure. I was like, I don't know how that was like the whole episode. So, David, CJ, thoughts?
I think it was fine. I think it showed us, or it kind of gave some direction to the rest of the season, which I appreciate. I don't know. We'll get into it. I thought some of the combat was kind of iffy.
Yes,
but...
that's the first thing I said to John earlier. Just the combat was like, come on.
But I do appreciate that they, instead of just having random pirates, they tried to like drop it early in the show so that when they show up and attack Navarro, it's
Yeah.
not just random things happening.
Yeah,
Kind
sure.
of flowed with the rest of the series.
Yeah, that
So I
makes
appreciate
sense.
them trying to add some continuity to like the season as a whole.
David?
Yeah, it felt like there was more substance to the episode, more progression. I enjoyed it.
I mean, it
Some
progressed.
surprises.
It progressed quite a bit, especially compared to previous episodes,
Yep.
which is kind of a knock on the show. I feel like this episode was no like great feat for Star Wars, but it felt really good just because I think the first 4 have been kind of lacking. So having like a good episode, this to me was just like, oh hey, a good episode. And I was really excited about it. Looking back on it, it was nothing amazing. It was good though.
Yeah.
So sure, it's fine. It definitely feels like a middle of the season kind of episode. Hopefully these last 3 really kick it off and crush it. But a lot of these first 5 episodes feel like it could have been done in 2 or 3. Like if you would have done 3 40-minute episodes instead and just kind of condensed some of the story a little bit and had it flow a little bit better, I would have felt this was a better launching point. Especially because now we only have 3 episodes left. So I don't feel like in the last 3 episodes we can get that much done. So I guess we'll just have to see where the plot's going, because this did kind of leave us off at a little bit of a cliffhanger where we're like, okay, so we know something's about to happen, but it can't be that much that's going to happen. You know, there's not a lot of time left to develop. So let's go ahead and dive into the episode. We start a few minutes without seeing Mando at all. We're actually working with Carson Teva, the captain of the New Republic, and he gets a message from, or actually no, it starts with Grief Karga.
Yeah,
That's right.
and the pirates kind of are entered into, and we see they had the cool,
the ship, the Corsair, whatever they called it.
yeah, the hammerhead, which the rebels use a bit.
I don't think, I mean, it's the same concept, but not the exact same class. You know what I mean?
Really?
Maybe the same class, but not the same model.
Correct.
But it was a really cool looking ship, and I liked its aerial bombardment cannons. Those are pretty cool. The effect was awesome.
Yeah, it had some serious firepower for sure.
The first thing that was a big complaint to me in this episode was the hologram of Davy Jones. I mean, it just looked like his gums were just smacking like a hand puppet. Like, it made no sense. It did not match what he was saying at all, which is frustrating because when they get to Zeb, spoiler alert, later in the episode, he looked amazing. I mean, he looked absolutely great. But then this pirate character, you just can't get the mouth right, and that seemed to be a very common problem with these characters in Mandalore.
Yeah, I just think with comparing Zeb to this guy isn't entirely fair, just because who are we going to see again for sure? Who are we not going to see again for sure?
Well, yeah,
so I
but
think it's that kind of aspect.
But at the same time, I feel like if you're going to put out a show, it needs to be quality throughout. You can't have inconsistent quality. Otherwise, it just doesn't feel right. Like, it takes you out of the show when one guy looks good and the other one looks like a puppet. And I think that might be part of it. One may have been animatronic, and one may have been CGI, perhaps. Yeah. But
Zeb was definitely CG.
100%.
And yeah, so
it's just
I
just
think it's you get a limited budget, and you got to use it where you use it. And I'm taking this off.
FOMO outlasted. You're no longer Mandalore. You gotta go take a bath.
No.
In the
see you guys.
Yeah. Enjoy your bath.
With the dinosaur.
But yeah, that was just frustrating, and especially in the hologram, you really noticed it. I didn't notice it quite as much later on. Maybe it's because there was more going on in those scenes. But like when you're just looking at his lips moving, yeah, I was very much annoyed by it. But some things about that whole process were weird. Like they start bombarding the city, and they're like, "Quick, everyone, run into the open field, where clearly we'll be safe."
Nobody follows them.
It's like what?
Oh, but back to the hologram. Did you guys catch that they had some episode 5 Emperor to Darth Vader kind of
like with
callback?
The big hologram kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, I thought that was cool too.
But
Oh,
still,
you know
the
what that reminded me of? That whole episode, that whole like beginning of that episode reminded me of like Moses out in the desert.
Talking to burning bush.
Yeah, just out there,
Maybe. I guess I didn't catch that.
fearing for his life with his people.
But yeah, I don't know about the whole beginning of the episode, like him trying to bluff the pirate and be like, "Oh, the New Republic will protect us," and he's like, "Yeah, and you clearly made yourself an independent planet." So I guess at least they called it out. But he asks Carson Teva to send a patrol to help out with this whole issue, and we see how much of a bumbling organization the New Republic is. It's almost unbelievably bad. You know what I mean?
yeah.
The DMV
I mean,
is
they-
everywhere.
It's like the DMV, exactly. And they go, he's like, I'm in charge of requisitions. And again, it's an SNL comedian that they're putting into Star
That's
Wars.
I know it. Yeah, I know. I recognize him from somewhere.
And it just, I like the guy. He's a good actor and he's hilarious. Like his character in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, one of the funniest characters I've ever seen. But it doesn't fit in Star Wars. You know what I mean? Just this, the character itself didn't fit. And then it just makes the New Republic just totally laughable. And I think they're trying to point to how easy it was for the First Order to come back.
Yeah, unfortunately, definitely that's the case.
But it almost makes it less impressive that the First Order was able to do what they did. Because this agency that's taken over that Luke and Leia and Han and all the other characters that we saw in the original trilogy fought so hard to set up was just the biggest waste of time. Because essentially they're still the Empire under a different name and just not tyrannical, but they're not helping people out the way they should. It's just the same government that we had before the Empire, and nothing's really been fixed. So everything Luke's done is just so undermined more than it already was because the Emperor eventually comes back. So in a way, what they're doing right now, trying to set up the sequel trilogy, I understand, but it's also still just kind of pushing those OT characters and the work they did for naught when this New Republic sucks so much.
But practically speaking, it's not easy to run a galaxy. So
An
from that
intergalactic
respect, it's only been 5 years, really. How long did the USA take to get
Yeah.
formed? It took 50 years and then some.
I suppose
were-
I understand that. I just also would think that Mon Mothma and Leia would have had
Yeah.
something better set up. You know?
Like,
'Cause, I
hey,
mean,
you,
when was
rich
the-
guy.
I'm trying to think. In episode 4, the Emperor was supposed to take out basically the Senate and render it useless.
Right.
We're never really confirmed if that's actually the case. I guess we're supposed to infer that happened. Maybe it didn't
No, it
fully
did happen in episode 4. He says the Emperor has fully the Senate is no longer a thing, and the Emperor has full control, and now the governors are in charge of their territories.
So Leia's got to build that from the ground up.
Yeah, but
And if the Empire's willing to use fear to keep the systems in line, the New Republic's not going to use fear, obviously.
yeah,
Well, unless they're frying people's brains.
and
Which,
and I think they also like
nice.
that. What's that girl's name? The double agent,
Kaya, Elia
Kane. She kind of brought up a good point, and her character
Kia Sedona.
was somewhat interesting. But that the New Republic probably would struggle to get members shortly after the Empire's been destroyed. I mean, it's kind of like United Nations, essentially, is what the New Republic is. You're going to have independent countries, and you're going to have people come together and join this agency. But when you've seen the Republic fail, you've seen the Empire everyone thought the Empire was a good thing. You see what that turned into. You understand why people would be so hesitant to join. And then that Elia Kane brought up, maybe if people can kind of see what happens when you don't join, that they need to rely on the New Republic to protect them because they can't protect themselves. So I understand how she was manipulating. She was manipulating people.
Dale brings up a good point that likely the senators were still there. They just had no power because they were taken out of power. So
They probably got
implementing
reelected.
implementing
quickly.
those to help you rebuild would be very, very useful.
But I think a lot of those senators, too, that we saw in the time of the Republic were pretty corrupt as is. So they just bring in the same corrupt senators. So it makes sense that it would be a shoddy government. I just think that they made it a little too laughably shoddy. You know, I would have liked it to be more behind the scenes stuff, like intentional. People being mischievous and deceitful,
Like Elia, like former Empire
Yes.
people.
or even just people that are still going after their own causes.
Yeah.
But what it appears to be is that like the New Republic is trying to do good, and they're trying to do the right thing. They're just incredibly bad at it. You know what I mean? I would have preferred the more political side of it and the more self-serving, or we're going to do what's right for our people and kind of say, you know, screw everyone else. In this sense, it's been like, everyone's trying so hard to be for the New Republic, and you're doing your part for the New Republic, and then everything just like doesn't work at all. Like they freaking put Moff Gideon on a small transport ship and just say, yeah, of course he'll make it there safe. You know what I mean? Just all these things that don't really make sense. So
I found it funny the couple lines that Elia had. She was like, "No, I was liberated.
yeah,
It takes time for people to see the light." I was like, "Is that not the reddest of flags? Like, nobody talks like that
No,
if they're not."
And also, how is this like ex-Imperial involved in the highest level of military confidential conversations? You know what I mean?
Is this high level?
Well, I mean, if you're asking, I feel like if you're asking
That's
for,
fair.
Because the dude has permit to an extent. It is
he
the
has
dude
permission to grant fire missions. That's pretty high level.
or he can. He's allowed to. He's like one of the main gates that decide if something goes through. So
Yeah.
he maybe has some weight, not all the weight. He probably can't just go straight through and.
But
But
still,
he's like
nonetheless,
somehow-
I feel like I would
Like
not.
a mid-level guy.
I guess, but I
I don't
wouldn't
know.
want like an ex-Imperial person involved in those conversations.
Well, depending on, we still don't even know what the timeline is like. If the timeline is correct and John did not slip up, she's
Should
been
be
in this
7
position
years.
for 2 years. No, I'm saying between
Oh,
Elia
yes.
when she was captured
Yes.
and now. It's been like a year, which doesn't make sense just from the story perspective. But for her timeline, I feel like, you know, you keep your nose clean for 2 years.
It has to be
And
2
especially
years.
with
There's
the
no
New
way
Republic.
someone's getting like or you know, unbrainwashed. I can't think of the right word, but like
Programmed.
yeah, reprogrammed
Yeah,
in less than. It's gonna take time. So
Not recidivism.
I can't think of a
A
word for it.
transition.
Yeah,
Yeah, what prison is supposed to do to convicts.
Rehabilitate.
Yeah.
I guess.
That's the right word.
So, yeah, I guess she makes sense in what her role is with how she's working for Gideon still. But the question is, what is she? I'm very curious as to what's actually going on with Gideon. There's a lot of different theories floating around the internet. Like, was he rescued? Was he recaptured by someone else that doesn't like him? Is he?
Did Mandalorians actually capture him? Because
Yeah.
we know that Empire people have. It seems like they have Beskar left and right.
Right, and are these?
So-
If it was Mandalorians, is it Mandalorians working for the Empire or working for Gideon? Because we've seen
Is
Mandalorians.
Moff Gideon a Mandalorian?
Yeah, and we've
Or
seen
an
Mandalorians
ex-Mandalorian.
just
Of
follow
course he's
power
there.
all the time. I mean, in Clone Wars alone and in Rebels, we saw different sects of Mandalorians choose whether they want to follow the Empire or follow power, or if they want to stay true to Mandalorian people. So there could be a sect of Mandalorians that are fighting for Gideon, or it could just be the Empire and pegging it on Mandalorians. I mean, who knows what this could be? Or it could be Mandalorians that are wanting to take Gideon because they destroyed their planet, and they said, we'll try him ourselves. There's so many
I don't
different ways
think
it
it's
could go.
that.
I don't think so
because
either.
I think that'd be weird. But
I think more than likely it's someone that's working with or for.
It's a very short story progression. Like the next step in the story is very short if it's someone who
Yes.
doesn't like Gideon. Because then it's like, all right, they're gonna.
But what I
Kill
do
him
think
or-
it leads to, though, is a semi-small Mando civil war. Like, there's going to be some that are... Because here's what's going to happen. The New Republic just learned that Mandalorians captured... or took Gideon. So now the New Republic's going to set off to fight Mandalorians. And some Mandalorians will be like, we have no idea what the heck you're talking about. We don't want to have to do this fight right now. Others going to be like, yeah, we don't. The New Republic is weak, and we're going to fight alongside Gideon and the Empire. So I feel like there's going to be a conflict there, and maybe Bo-Katan is the one that unites them, possibly. It seems like that's definitely the path they're sending it on. So
It's also that's a good point, Dale. With Bo-Katan, she got into the crew basically, which I mean, she did see the what's it called, so that helped a lot. I mean, I guess anyone could claim that they saw a mythosaur, but
They got the
um,
water.
she did, and they had the water. Yeah, that helps as well. So maybe without all those steps, she doesn't get as quite into their crew as quickly.
Why don't you save the kid?
Yeah,
I mean,
she's done a lot.
She's the children of the Watch are going to follow her because the armor has given her the blessing.
Yeah.
So whatever they decide to do from here will be interesting because on one hand they're talking about settling Navarro, but on the other they're saying it's time to reclaim Mandalore. So are they going to start going there right away? Perhaps, I don't know. Or are they going to finish out this season on Navarro? I think this season 3 or season 4 is going to be like, reclaiming Mandalore and whatnot. My guess is this season's going to end with a cliffhanger. I can't really see how too much can really be resolved this season.
Yeah. As you kind of said about this episode, Jake, this episode was kind of intermediary, and I think this season itself is intermediary.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's going to be a lot of rewatchability to this season unless we get some crazy cameo. Not saying we don't need a crazy cameo, but I don't know how much rewatchability this season will have. Not necessarily that it needs it, but we're kind of bridging, I think, from one kind of main story plot to the next with this season.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I think you're probably right. I mean, Jon Favreau talked about how this season is heading into the middle of the story. So it's very possible that they're setting up the larger world. And we're going to see... I mean, we still don't know whose TIE Interceptor those were. We still don't know if that was Thrawn or Gideon. We don't know what the purpose of destroying Bo-Katan's homeworld was. There's so many things that have to be, finalized up in here.
Yeah.
The last few episodes that you can just tell everything's still building. I mean, even this episode alone didn't really finalize. It's all still building. So we're definitely building towards... There's going to be some conflict, and of course, we're going to have a big battle at the end. But I don't think that final battle is going to be a final confrontation. I doubt Gideon dies, and if he does, it's going to be because Thrawn is replacing him at the end of the episode or something like that. So...
I like that Dale brought up Axe Woves and Koska Reeves. We haven't seen them this entire season.
That followed Darth Maul.
The younger lady and then the older guy.
Yes.
Yeah. So we haven't seen them for an entire season, 2 years basically. So having them kind of, I wouldn't be surprised if they were the ones
that followed Bo-Katan last season.
Maybe they defected to the Empire and they're like, yeah, Bo-Katan lives here. Let's bomb her place.
That's possible.
Let's get Moff Gideon out.
We know that they have ships. They took Bo-Katan's ships. So it's quite possible that they are the ones that broke out.
And it would make sense. I know with shows like this, they tend to they set the beats early, and then they revisit them in the second half of the season. We don't have beats for Axe or Koska, but they've been in the show already, so it would make sense that they're the Mandalorians that...
I mean, honestly...
We'll see if they show us at the beginning of the episode.
Bo hinted
I do
that
not watch those anymore.
I know.
Oh, man, I always skip them.
Yep.
Bo hinted that she had taken several Imperial ships.
Oh, did she?
Yes. She said she'd pissed off many different Imperial warlords. Because Moff Gideon wasn't...
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
So I wonder if potentially... This is just... I haven't thought of this until now. If some of the ships that she had TIE fighters in them. And maybe the Mandalorians were the ones that destroyed Bo-Katan's homeworld because they saw her as a failure or something like that. I'm trying to figure out why the Empire...
Kind of a stretch, but...
Why would the Empire decide to go destroy her castle? What purpose does it serve?
Revenge.
I think it would, and only because I just said it, I think it would make sense if some Mandalorians defected. Mm-hmm. And now they're kind of just trying to squall this little... Because they know she's going to come back. Yeah. So they're going to try and squall. And they're counting on the fact that the Mandalorians have rarely, if ever, unified. So they know that's not really a possibility.
Sure.
Because they're not counting on the Mythosaur.
Huh. I'm interested to see where it goes. I I mean, the rest of this episode that there is to discuss really is pretty cool. Seeing Zeb Aurelius. I mean, that's definitely pointing towards what we're going to see in Ahsoka.
Rebels.
And he looked amazing. I was excited to see him. I hope we see him again this season. Hopefully, he works alongside Carson Tula or
Dude's
Carson Teva.
dominant these days.
I think it was a little tease. I don't know.
Teasing towards Ahsoka.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's kind of how I read it. I don't know.
You're
if we'll see
probably
him
right.
again. It was kind of like, hey guys, check out what you're gonna get more of.
Hey, I'm fine with getting more of Zeb. What I don't want is to ever see him walk behind two stormtroopers again and clunk their helmets together and get them knocked unconscious. It makes no sense.
What if he breaks? What if their helmets smash?
If their helmets smash, great. That just means he's a really strong dude and he did brain
strong
damage.
dude.
I'm cool with that. But like just going clunk, like they're wearing padded helmets. You're not gonna knock someone out unconscious from that. It's just not gonna happen. Oh, so
I don't know. Have you seen
And
Kenobi?
it's like the least,
Yeah,
like,
the open
least
face
practical
smack.
way to do anything.
I will say the smacking helmets together makes more sense than open palming a stormtrooper in the face and then getting knocked unconscious. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
Oh, that show sucks so bad.
But I will say it'll be
2 by 4.
interesting because this was a very. He looked great as going to the more the CG side of how he's going to look. He looked great. However, this was a very simple scene that he was in. He wasn't moving around very much.
Sure.
He had a couple lines, so it's going to be interesting to see. And he was in. He kind of had. He was. The main light source was behind him, so they were kind of.
Yeah, but it looked really good.
Face a little bit.
I mean,
It looked great. I saw someone compared that he looked like Andy Serkis.
And I also believe it was the same exact voice, was it not?
It was. Steve
Yeah,
Bloom.
it sounded just like
Yeah.
him. So I was like,
It was
as soon as I heard him, I knew who it was.
Yeah.
Only question was, is it the same exact voice?
It is the same voice.
Did you guys
yes.
see who was sitting at the bar?
Mr. Well, I'll save it. Did you guys? Two guys on the bottom
Oh no, it's very
certain guy in
recognizable hat. Very recognizable.
in a cowboy hat. Yeah.
Cad Bane.
Unmistakable
No.
hat.
Dave Filoni
Ooh.
was sitting at the bar. Deborah Chow, and then Rick, the other director.
Rick McCallum, executive producer of episodes 1, 2, and 3.
No, I don't remember his
The
name.
goat.
Oh, yep. Yeah, Dale knew about it. So yeah, I saw Dave Filoni's hat. And it made me look
I
over.
only saw Dave. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
look at
Deborah Chow was sitting there.
Famuyiwa.
You could see Deborah Chow's face actually. So,
Oh. Yeah. Interesting.
but yeah, cool to see them, and which is funny because we've seen them as pilots in previous episodes, so it made sense that they were.
Yes,
sitting
we
there.
have.
So, they were in the one with the prison break, correct?
Yes, they were.
And they went and blew up that base. Only other things really to talk about in this episode were the combat scenes that we saw.
Should we
Bo-Katan-
just totally rip apart this episode with the things that were just like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, we can.
Get it, John.
One thing I'll give that was a positive point. Bo-Katan's plan was really solid, made a lot of sense.
And the way that I liked the way they described it, of how it was like kind of not so much as like Ocean's 11. We're going to do it as we talk about it, but like
they kind of talked
as
through
we're flying in, she's
Yes.
going to, and we know she has the capabilities clearly to,
to lead.
yes.
Oh, to me, the
has the
show,
experience.
The Mandalorian, is starting to become Bo-Katan's show.
Bo-Katan
Which I'm
is
fine with.
Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And
And
she's
she's a
a
very
Mandalorian.
good character. She's a great character. And
Boba
we've
And
got
it's
a
the
lot of
same-
history.
Did
Mandalorian.
The same actress.
you say the woman
Katie
Mandalorian?
Sackhoff.
I said Boba Fett was about Mandalorian.
Oh.
Mandalorian's about Bo-Katan.
Ahsoka's going to be about Ezra. I'd be
Ezra.
fine with that. Give me that.
All these shows are just improperly titled. Andor is more so about a rebellion than it is about him. But hey,
Someone watched that. One of them must have watched that TikTok about how episodes 1 through 6 are improperly named, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
very false, by the way. Very false.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about though. But that TikTok is like you can see where they're coming from though.
No, you can see where they're coming from. They're just 100% wrong.
Yeah.
Darth Maul, or which one did they say was the Phantom Menace? Was it?
Revenge of the Sith, I believe.
Yeah. I'm like, the Phantom Menace was Palpatine.
Or no, Revenge of the Sith is Attack of the Clones. Right? I don't know how you can say Attack of the Clones is improperly named.
Attack of the Clones was number 3 because they actually have
Yes.
more battles.
Clones were attacking both in episode 3.
Anyways, that's
in the beginning
Yeah,
and
it's
at the
neither
end.
here nor there. Dale, the only reason I think that Bo-Katan is taking away from Din and Grogu is because Din and Grogu have pretty much had no development whatsoever, except Din has become whole again, which pretty much just meant he took a bath. He's had no revelation. He's had no change in character. He's had no new conflict whatsoever. None.
He's like knocked out for it.
So he hasn't really had any kind of change or progression in his personal story. Grogu as well has not become a better Jedi or Mandalorian, really. He hasn't grown much except for just we can see that he has. We had one scene, pretty much when he went and rescued Mando was his only scene where he has developed, I would say. Even his training scene, nothing really happened. He got thrown around and jumped a little bit. And then we just saw his past. But as far as like character development, there hasn't been any. But Bo-Katan has gone through a huge journey over these last 4 episodes. And she's gone through depression to helping Mando and starting to see the way that he's devoted to the Mandalorian culture and history and started to accept it a little bit, to fully ingraining herself in the Children of the Watch, to leading the Children of the Watch twice and saving their people, to then using her ability to save Navarro and lead a group of Mandalorians to do that when she was just left by her group that she was leading. Now she's leading all over again, to now being placed as the head of Mandalore, or potential head of Mandalore, by the Armorer. I mean, she's gone through a huge journey. This season has been so much more about her than anybody else.
Which I personally don't have a problem with.
I don't have a problem with it either. It's just I
don't
like Din Djarin
think-
and I want to see him grow.
I don't think the show is called The Mandalorian with the intent now, knowing what we know in season 3. I don't think the show was called The Mandalorian thinking Din was the Mandalorian we're gonna follow and focus on the entire time.
You think it's just going to be about Mandalorians in general?
Is it still about Mandalorian?
I think so, 100%.
Yes. So I think so far we're in line. It's
I
not
don't
like
know.
a Boba Fett situation.
I would disagree with you there. I do think that when they say the Mandalorian in the title, they're talking about Din Djarin. I mean, they call him Mando every time they get the chance to. I feel like he's always going to be in the show. I mean, Favreau himself said that he does not have an end in mind for Din and Grogu, and that he just wants to keep their story going as long as possible. So the story is going to be...
I don't think he said as long as possible.
Or he wants to keep their story going, and
he doesn't
have
see an end
in
right
sight.
now.
Right, for those guys.
Yeah.
So that was one thing that actually concerns me. He says they're not building towards the finale. I hate that idea. I just think it leaves for so much ambiguity and lack of direction.
Who wants to write an episode? Who wants to jam it all together?
Yeah, and I just feel like you're going to get this ending that just...
I'm telling you, I worry. He's got the high points. He
said himself he does not have an end in mind. He's only writing season 4 now, and they write it as they go. He says they've talked about with him and Dave Filoni have sat down and like mapped out a big picture thing, but the specific story for Grogu and Mando they don't have completed. They know how they want to tie things together in a bigger galaxy, but they're like.
I just think there's still some reporter asked. See, I hate when people do this. Reporters ask him a question. Reporters say, "Hey, do you want to be in? Do you want to be in The Mandalorian?" And they say, "Oh yeah, sure." Then they report, "Actor wants to be in The Mandalorian so bad."
Yeah.
Like with Kenobi season 2. Ewan McGregor wants a season 2 of Kenobi, but no, people asked him, "Oh, if there was a season 2, would you be open to doing it?" Like, I just hate how that's
the
how
one
things
that
are
I
being
saw
spun,
was
and I think that's how
a
it's being
video
spun.
of what he was saying in an interview.
Everything's clickbait, John.
Because he was being asked probably, "Is there an end in sight for Mandalorian?" Well, no, I haven't written an ending to Mandalorian. And he's not going to say, "Yes, I have an ending," because then the storyline is going to be, "The Mandalorian is ending."
I'll try to send you a link so you can actually see what he said, because I think that would change your perspective. He's pretty clear that he doesn't have like a written end or even an idea of an end. So we'll see.
I'll watch it right now because I think that as he knows how the system works. He
Yeah.
knows that.
I mean, I
you gotta
hope
be careful
I'm
what you
wrong.
say.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope that he has a vision for where this story needs to go.
I think the man started the MCU.
Yeah. He started it, but he wasn't the one that had a vision for where it was going. I mean,
No, he didn't, but he started it, and I think he knew what he was doing.
yeah. I think he knows what he's doing. It worries me. I mean, we're already seeing this show has dropped in viewers dramatically this season. It's way underperforming previous seasons and underperforming other shows that are out right now. And when Mando season 1 came out, it was a worldwide phenomenon, the most watched show in years. And it's just not really competing with a lot of other shows out there that were posted. The viewing was posted for the season premiere, and it just way underperformed previous season premieres for Mando. And Mando season 2 was coming off an all-time high with the Luke episode, but we're 2+ years removed from that, and I think the hype just died down. And if they don't have like a set plan of what they're going to do, are they going to have more breaks between seasons? I worry.
Yeah.
That's all. I hope they're able to keep it going without it dying out too much.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta keep putting some good stuff out
And if
there.
they just keep milking it, like Dale's saying, if they just keep milking it while it's popular, eventually going to end when it's no longer popular. They're going to have a low budget, and it's just going to end with a bad ending. So if they just keep going as long as they make money on it, that's going to be.
So
rough.
I think if you would have asked Dave in the 3rd season of Rebels, do you have an ending in mind? I think he would have said no. Yeah, season 2 of Rebels. If you would have asked him, do I have an ending? Do you have an ending to Rebels? He would have said no. Because even at the end of the show, is that really an ending? No, he left that thing so wide open, and we're
it ended
reaping
with
that
the
now.
end of this rebellion.
But then it didn't even end there. It had a jumping off point.
Well, I mean, the show Rebels definitely ends at that point, but he left it open for other shows later on.
Because he still could have easily continued that show.
Yeah.
Because there's so many unanswered questions that we're only now, how many years later? Did that end in 2018? Or was it 2020?
No, it was
Rebels.
before that. It would have been like 2017.
This is
maybe
before
2016.
March 5th,
before season
2018.
7.
2018.
So we're
Rebels
5
was
years
coming
later.
out when we were in college, huh?
Yeah, it started in
Yeah.
20.
David, did we watch it together, or CJ?
No, definitely not.
Nah.
October 3rd,
I don't
2014,
know why. I
season 1.
think it normally came out like in the summertime.
October.
Or
Huh.
I don't know.
Interesting. I don't remember. I know I watched them as they all came out. I just don't remember it. Anyways, so yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes. Wednesday, we just got a few days to wait. But definitely some interesting plot points to fill out here.
I think your point to, like, is there going to be years between seasons? I think that is very likely because of the shows we're getting. We got Acolyte later this year. Ahsoka's next, I think.
Ahsoka's the summer is the rumor.
Yeah, so it's Ahsoka's the summer, Acolyte late fall, and then I doubt we're not going to get a Mandalorian season 4.
Not this year. No.
Not this year. Probably not next year, honestly.
I believe the goal is Christmas 24.
Yeah, I'd buy that for $1.
So
I'd buy that for one. If it doesn't get delayed.
1 credit.
Dollars.
Andor season 2 as well. Vision season 2.
I just choked. Sorry.
Kenobi season 2.
They're doing another season of Vision.
Yeah.
Yes, that is this summer.
Mhm.
Now that you mention it,
I'm excited
or at
for
least
that.
Me
was
too.
planned. Yeah, I may as well.
Yeah. I actually,
I
a little
picked
bit
up
of
the comic for
news.
it.
So I'm in the process of commissioning an artist to make us a new logo and some artwork for the show. It probably won't replace the logo we have now, but it'll be mixed in with other things in the style of some of the Star Wars Vision episodes. So I have to pick. Maybe we can talk about which one we want to do. But he's
We
gonna
could
do
pick on
something.
stream.
Yeah, he's doing something along.
Slick.
Yeah, exactly. So something that's gonna have all of us in it and try to like Star Warsify the 4 of us, and then maybe put that.
We have.
into-
Don't we have AI art for that?
I'm sure. But he's a buddy of mine, and he's in art school, and he loves doing. He wants to be a comic book artist, so
Nice.
I thought it'd be
CJ?
cool to see.
I mean,
no,
not
Are you
it's a
CJ,
guy from
paying him with
Chad.
exposure, not with money?
Yeah, no, we'll pay him.
That's Sebastian.
We have $30 in our bank, right?
Yeah,
we can
exactly.
we can pull from the reserves.
Oh, we also have we have a Star Wars Day coming up here in a month.
May
little
the
over a month.
4th be with you
Yeah, a little over
in
a
a
month.
month.
So we'll have.
got some Legos to buy.
Yeah, I know. Did you see the new
Dude.
Andor set or Endor set? I mean,
Looks like garbage.
I think it looks
Well, the
really
price-
good.
the price
It
looks
looks
garbage.
awesome, but $80 for
How
that
much would you
set.
pay for that? How much would you
the-
pay?
I'd
the
pay
speeder
50.
bike?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a $50 set.
I'd
bro.
even go $59.99, assuming that the
I'm probably gonna pay 80, but
no, dude, just wait. It's gonna drop. You know
Think
it's gonna
so?
You
drop.
can literally just wait like a couple months and get it on Amazon.
I'll
for
wait. I still have other
50
sets I
off.
need to get.
Same
so.
with the throne room.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
looks good.
I really want the throne room, but I also am not.
I
gonna
just
pay
love.
$100
I
for
love
that.
those diorama sets. I still need to get the trash compactor though, so that I could probably.
I need
find
to
cheap
get all
somewhere.
of them. I don't have any of them.
I've got the
Sick.
Trench Run and Dagobah.
Like I said, the
Dagobah
best
was
one.
good.
Yeah, the Trench Run's cool too. And I also have the. Wait,
The Dagobah.
I have the Luke against the Death Troopers or Dark Troopers right there as well. But that's
Oh yeah.
that's not technically one of the diorama sets. But
Yeah, I really like that one though.
yeah.
It's got the cool new hood.
Oh, David, I need to get you your Dynasty Dudes trophy.
No,
Wait, no,
I
that's
mean-
not it. It's Caleb.
I
that
mean
needs
it went to somebody. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's somebody else this year.
No, that's Beardless League. I still have 3 years in a row. Baby.
So while we're talking about Legos,
Yeah.
real quick, M&R Productions
I
released a
saw
video.
that.
Did you see the top comment on it?
April Fools?
No.
No. Was it you? Are you the top comment?
Yeah.
Let me see.
What is it? Share it.
No, I'll pull it up.
Yeah, I want to see it too.
Okay, I'm gonna
That's
pull it up
great.
on our stream right here.
The other thing is he said he's gonna go live at 11:30 Eastern, and the title of his thing is it true? Question mark. So
Well, he
he's
even
probably gonna
says-
release that it's not true.
He even says it's
Which also well,
he says leaked down April 1st of all days.
I'm going for Judge Janet Price for this. Janet.
Okay. All right.
you're not
top-
you're not sharing right now.
Yeah, but the people on YouTube can see it.
No, that's right. I can go on YouTube.
Let's see. Top comment. John,
Okay,
you're
well,
not the top
evidently you
comment.
have to scroll or sort by.
Sort by top comments. Canada Bricks is number 1 5 hours ago.
Well,
Oh, you got Pat. Oh, you definitely have the most likes.
yeah, that's unfortunate.
What does it say?
John says, Game Set Live says, I should say. You'll never convince me this is real. April Fool's Day will not break my heart like this. Don't lie to me, Ryan. I would never, he says.
Yes, he would.
What's
Dude,
the
Also-
video
100% this is fake. Oh, it's for a UCS Venator public gunship and
Oh.
337 clone battle pack.
Yeah, literally all
And
the
a
clone
ghost.
troopers we've ever wanted.
And a ghost. Dude, there's no way. I'm never falling for this, dude. Yeah. Anyone that would fall
Like-
for that.
about?
Anyone that
Like
would fall for
everything
that
you
is
want.
dense. There's no way.
He already said like Lego doesn't do anything that they're supposed to do. They just like
Dude, if he...
remake the same things over and over
There
again.
you go. Hey guys, guess what? You're getting another X-Wing.
Yo, you want another land speeder? You want it jumbo size this year? Like no, like you released a regular one already.
Yeah.
One
All
of
right.
my friends sent me this,
The Mandalorian canceled after Backlash Season 3.
and he
Is
said,
that Den of Geek?
"No, it's Culture Slate." He
Oh.
said, "What's this about? Is this just not true at all?" And I said, "I just want you to think about what day today is." And he said, "Dang it all!" with a bunch of exclamation points.
Yeah, people struggle. All right. Overall rating, I give it a 7.8. 7.8 out of 10.
7,
Like a
5.
7.
Yeah, I was gonna go flat 7.
Things I hated about it or disliked.
Yeah, let's get into it. The jaw
Combat,
flapper.
jaw
start
flapper
at the
we already
beginning.
discussed.
Jaw flapper.
Annoying.
There was something else.
We said the combat.
What I think
Yeah.
all the opening stuff was fine, like the conversation with.
Yeah, taking the people out into the wilderness. The fact that there were like 20 people
Yeah, that didn't
And
make
this is
much
like
sense. A huge city.
citizens of
Combat.
Navarro.
Well,
we
I think
built
it's-
this.
I don't
built
think
this
those were
city.
the only survivors.
You got
though.
like four cities.
No, they can't
four
be,
families.
but-
Yeah, I think it's
Then
just
where is it?
people were still in the city. Like we saw the pirates were taking advantage of people and like pushing them around.
Yeah, I mean,
You got to remember, we've only ever seen like one street on this whole city.
everything happens on one street.
Yeah,
Honestly, I kind of give them the benefit of the doubt, knowing that they're not gonna have like 200 people shown in the
Yeah.
show. Like anywhere.
But you just gotta
at once.
assume that like there's 100 pirates elsewhere and 100 citizens elsewhere.
Yeah, like I wish.
Ah.
I don't know what the solution is to that, but like. I
Get
wish they did
people
something.
on the volume.
Yeah.
Okay, I brought this up many times, and I don't think I've ever been validated before. But do you guys notice that? I don't know if I think it's just a Disney Plus Star Wars show style where they do a little vignette. So at the edges of the screens, about right here in a circular form,
It's like
anyone who's
faded.
on the edge, it's a little blurred, and their faces are stretched
I haven't
in
noticed
every
that.
shot.
I have not noticed
I've
that.
not noticed.
It's a weird style that they've decided. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's just the lens and that's how they
That's-
brush out the edges of the volume. But it's just I don't know. Like when for instance, remember on the scene when Elia Kane was off to the side,
Yeah,
her face was like elongated and kind of circularly
Hmm.
stretched.
I'll have to look for that.
Anyways.
What else was dumb? Okay, so the combat in Clone Wars again. We said it with Ahsoka in Mando season 2. Ahsoka was so much of a better fighter in the Clone Wars than she was in Mando season 2. But the Jedi in Clone Wars are just amazing because they can animate people to move however they want to, and you can't make people jump and flip like that in real life.
But so it was kind of funny, you know, the link I sent, the guy who does not Obi-Wan Kenobi
Yes.
deep fake
Yes.
and voice impersonation, he was like, no, Anakin was saying how it's like whenever I couldn't make it to training, I would just sub in Roger Federer. He's got a mean overhand because it literally looks like she's doing tennis
Yes, it
forehands.
does. So, and same thing with even what's his face, Kelleran Beck. Is that his name? Last
Yes.
week. I mean, it was fine. It did okay, but it's just, I don't know. Maybe I just
think
got
it's-
spoiled by the Clone Wars.
I think it's just direction.
Yeah.
They don't have. They need
Choreographer.
what's his name? They need Nick Gillard on deck because
Yep.
they're just telling you. It looks
Yep.
like they're just telling you just swing it.
Swing it around, and we'll add
Swing it.
blasters in later.
But it's not even like
Spin.
I think it's a mindset of you need to be thinking the bullet. You know where the bolts are going, so you decide where they're going, and we'll add in later.
Yes.
It'll meet that.
I mean,
spot
I
instead
felt
of just
Kelleran Beck
swinging
was a
around.
step in the right direction compared to what we've seen with lightsabers in the past. The Luke stuff
Yeah.
was really good, though.
Yeah.
In season 2, the Luke stuff was good. I just think it's when they decide how much they want to budget on the scene. That's the level of combat that we get. Because I mean, you see it in big picture movies. Like Marvel has done amazing things with combat and flying combat. Like you think of Iron Man. That's what the Mandalorians essentially should be able to do. Is kind of like what Iron Man does. But instead,
So they've-
the jetpacks
gotten-
are, huh?
They've been. I mean, in the beginning part of the season, I thought it was pretty well. It looked fine. It looked great when they were chasing the.
When they were
The dude.
chasing, but that was just a chase. It wasn't until like, I guess I should just say like the one-on-one mano-a-mano combat sucks. Like a Mandalorian's going to use his jetpack when he's fighting pretty much constantly, but they use it to fly in to get on the ground and then just forget that they have jetpacks.
Yeah, that
And
part
the-
was rough.
And they just walk around
Stand
shooting
still.
everything. And it's like, no,
Walk
use your
straight.
jetpack, get up above them, blast them with. They all had rockets on the edges of their jetpack they refused to use. You want to know
On
why?
that huge gunner.
Because more
Big gun.
explosions cost
Oh my
more
gosh.
money. It's like,
Cannot believe they did not fire a rocket into that
Yes!
like tiny little area.
oh, and
They
even
waited.
more stupid,
All right.
Oh, here comes the armor rant.
even more stupid is when they drop out of Bo-Katan's ship. The armorer is nowhere to be seen. I watched the scene several times. Maybe she's in the back of the row, and you can't see her drop down.
No,
But
she's not there.
you don't see her. They land, and I understand not every Mandalorian was shown landing.
Yeah, we didn't see
Take the
Paz
Uber.
Vizsla land.
We did see Paz Vizsla land, actually. He drops down as like a big poof force when he lands.
Was
But-
it in the beginning or
No,
of
it
the
was
scene, or-
shortly, like the Mandalorians are starting to get pinned down. He drops down. So I think
Okay,
it was
well,
like
that-
the
I don't-
second. It wasn't his initial land, probably.
Yeah, correct. That was him just making a dramatic entrance.
Yes. But the armorer shows up to this huge battle, knowing they're going to be taking an entire city. And she's in the
Hammers.
back of this building, and she says, "You know what I'm taking into battle?
Hammers.
A hammer and tongs. No
Metal
guns.
Don't
mallet.
underestate the tongs.
I'm not going to be
Have
a
my
walking
mallet.
She's ready to
arsenal.
barbecue, dude.
I'm taking my hammer and my tongs." Like, it made sense in season 1 when she fought with that, because she was in her forge when the time came. It was like, sweet, she made do with what she had, and she was still a force to be reckoned with. But to decide that's what you're going to go into battle with was just absolutely
I think
ridiculous.
she's
and
low
stupid.
key
AF.
like an anti. She might be. She just doesn't like using guns.
Oh, it's so stupid. And then
wrong with
also, she didn't have a jetpack on either. So
Okay, I thought about this one. She dropped in with Paz.
she just held on
to
to him.
Paz.
Oh, he's so stupid. Even worse.
Backpack.
Yeah. So
Very bad.
that whole thing is very frustrating to me. It just felt dumb and unnecessary.
So I thought when the combat was decent when the first team of Mandalorians dropped in.
Yes, and then
It
from
was
there on out, it
fast-paced.
made no sense.
Yeah, it was fast paced, shoot, jumping in, hitting him with the butt of the gun, grabbing the dude with
Yeah.
the grapple
Why are
hook.
they using the grappling hook when they're just gonna shoot them anyway?
That part was
'Cause
funny
it
where he was
looks
like,
cool.
"Listen."
He goes, pulls him in, punches him in the chest, and then shoots him. I was just like,
Just shoot.
you could have just
But
shot him the
then-
first time.
Yeah, then Paz drops in and he shoots everyone, which that was fine.
Yeah, it just was very
Yeah.
for it being Mandalorians. It was very slow and not intense.
No.
And
Yeah, George Lucas would have said faster and more intense. Like we need
Yes.
we need him on.
and
Land
I feel like
1.25 speed.
you see, it's been a problem with the whole show. You go to Clone Wars and you see the Mandalorians, and you see Pre Vizsla fighting Obi-Wan with a Darksaber. And they're moving quick, they're agile, they're in control of their bodies, they're in control of how their jetpack works in just a land combat. He's jumping up to get the portable high ground on Kenobi. And it's just as an amazing
Portable
combat.
high ground.
And you see the same thing in big battles between Mandalorians and anyone else. Like, they have the advantage because of their huge arsenal of
Yeah.
weaponry and because of their jetpacks. And
Like that-
Mandalorians, they walk around with blasters just like a regular soldier.
They have heavy armor.
They just happen to have armor, and it's just
That part
diminishes who they
where-
are so much.
where they were talking about the ambush. Yeah, that was probably the most egregious spot, just because they were ambushed
From in front,
in
They
a
got ambushed
in a
again.
they
a
they,
horizontal plane.
like, just fly up. Yeah.
It's like,
Fly
oh,
up
I
into the
was
building.
watching that. Like, I was like, man, this is the spot where if I was playing Battlefront, I would just like fly and get out of here.
Yeah, and then you
just,
get
like,
your little
shoot them
rocket.
in the back.
yes. Yeah, it's just frustrating because we know the capabilities of what Mandalorians can be. It's why they're my favorite people in Star Wars. Like, I like Mandalorians more than Jedi. And just seeing them underwhelm is frustrating because they shouldn't even had to use blasters if they didn't want to. They should have been able to get their vibro blades out and
Yeah,
just
that
tear
would've been slick.
tear into everybody.
And that
Like-
would have been cheaper.
Yeah, it would have been awesome. I mean, I just feel like even video games of Republic Commando had better combat where you're moving tactically through these hallways and you're moving at a quick pace with a sense of urgency and you're just driving through everything. But this is just so much walking and just shooting blasters. Like, I've seen this for 50 years in Westerns, it's not what I'm looking for. It felt like I was watching the Magnificent Seven. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But Magnificent Seven was shot better with more intensity. So
That's more intense. My last bit of kind of Disneyfied complaint, which a little nitpicky, I'll give it to you. When Paz Vizsla had his little speech. It was
oh yeah,
kinda
you
like,
knew where he was going the whole time.
I'm Paz Vizsla. This man, he's come into here and he's told us what to do, and we've sacrificed him for him so much. But we're Mandalorians and we're gonna help him. It was
Yeah.
like, okay, like
I mean, on
trying
one
to
side of things,
make us.
you see why they're, but it's so much of the tell me what I'm supposed to know. You know what I mean? Like, he had to say that they're doing this because Mando and Bo-Katan have fought for them and has helped their kids. I shouldn't have to hear you tell me that. I should know because I just saw it in the last episode. You know what I mean? There's so much of that. I can't remember what the phrase is in like cinematography, but like Eckhart's Ladder would talk about this or something. But show me, don't tell me. Exactly. Like, you've shown me all this. I don't need you to spell it out for me like I'm 5 years old.
Yeah, I would have been fine with just him. Like, we already know that he saved his kid. Yeah, like you said, we've seen he saved his kid. He's even acknowledged that. Why does he have to do another fake out?
Yes.
Gotta bring it back up again.
So I do think that this writing and storytelling has some room to be desired. I think part of it too is like, just some of the episodes and the writers that they have hired are kind of inexperienced in a way. Like Grief Karga, the guy who plays him, the guy from Rocky.
Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers. Like, he's not a world-renowned director / writer.
He directed episodes last season.
Yeah, I know. And usually, like, he did the...
Let's see.
Which episode did he do last season? I'm trying to remember. I just haven't been... I haven't been very impressed by his episodes.
Season 2, episode 4.
I'm trying to remember which one that was. Was that wasn't Frog Lady?
Baby Yoda.
No.
Was Frog Lady season 2?
Yeah.
That was either
Old School.
The Bo-Katan one, I thought.
I think
oh
it
no,
was-
is that the one where they go to back to Navarro, to the science place
Yes.
on the cloning?
I believe so.
Oh, that one was pretty cool because they had the cool TIE Fighter
that one.
chase.
Yeah.
But it wasn't crazy.
No.
It wasn't crazy. It was alright though.
But that also had Gene Guy. So. Remember the guy in the jeans?
Oh
that
yeah,
was
they
left-
go to that base. Yeah.
He was left behind in after credits, or not after credits, in post production. You could see that he was like
Oh yeah.
in his jeans. Yeah. So just some stuff that bugs me, but overall it was fine. It was good. I enjoyed watching it. But Bad Batch did not go the way I was expecting.
It was really good.
I thought we called it.
We thought that they were actually gonna go to Mount Tantus, which that was their plan. They just didn't get there. We thought that Tech would die trying to rescue Crosshair, which essentially
okay.
he
So
did.
we were right for the wrong reasons.
I mean, they were trying to rescue Crosshair, but they weren't on Mount Tantus, though. And they didn't result in rescuing him. So we thought that either that would happen or Crosshair would die to save them. I did not expect this to end. We thought that Omega would get taken, but I expected it to end with them going to rescue her and Crosshair. So we had some things right, but I don't know how we missed out on the summit thing, really. I feel like we should have, with the way that they mentioned the summit last week and how Tarkin said, you better have something ready for the summit, we should have known that they were going to go there. Now, that's Tarkin's home planet, which something I wasn't aware of until I watched a video about it.
What was the name of the planet again? Crisco? Crisco oil?
What planet was the summit?
So I saw someone before I watched the actual episode. I saw someone say, "Yes, that was
Iriadu.
Ben. Yes, that was Ben Mendelsohn who voiced Krennic." So I was like, "Oh, cool! He's gonna like say something." He didn't even say anything.
Yeah,
he said one thing.
Yeah, he said like it's going well or something like that.
And it literally didn't even sound like him. It sounded like AI him, if
It's
anything.
fine.
That sounded like him.
I don't care about Krennic that much. It's cool little cameo. Makes sense in the timeline.
Stardust.
I did think the conversation that they were having about their plans and whatnot was interesting. He just wants to use the clones pretty much as guinea pigs. And they also discussed a clone rebellion, which I think is what we're going to see in season 3. I think we're going to see a clone rebellion.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a large majority of the clones get wiped out from this clone rebellion. Because
Yeah,
in
or
Battlefront,
taken hostage.
we see a clone rebellion. Star Wars Battlefront 2, a clone rebellion on
Right,
Camino.
Good Matt.
Now,
Good
granted, this
episode.
isn't going to happen on Camino, we know, because of
Was the
Camino being gone.
the old general dude who was kind of like coming to the slight defense of the clones?
Yeah.
Earl Maydeen.
He was definitely voiced by D. Bradley Baker,
Was it really?
but I couldn't tell. He sounded like D. Bradley Baker.
See, I thought it might have been
Was he
Admiral
an older
Yularen.
clone?
That's who I thought it was.
One of them was Yularen for sure, but that guy was definitely not Yularen. He kind of had darker. He kind of had clone complexion skin.
I guess I don't
I
remember.
was
what
trying
guy
to. I'm
speaking
trying to
about.
figure out if he's like an older clone.
I don't
Which
think
that
so.
wouldn't make sense.
That wouldn't make sense.
Because Rex was the first batch.
Yeah.
He was definitely voiced by D.
Interesting.
Mr. Baker.
Yeah, I did not catch that. So yeah, some interesting conversations going on there. I think it definitely pointed towards what's going to be happening in season 3, and just the importance of what they're trying to do with cloning. But pretty intense episodes, both of them. I mean, throughout, this is something that I think Mando could take a hint from and be like, "Look, this is how you pace an episode so that you're on the edge of your seat the whole time." Because I really was, for the most part, especially once they actually got onto the monorail, or whatever you want to call it. From that point on, it was pretty intense. I don't know why they continue to entrust core missions to Omega. Because every time they do, something wrong happens. I mean, like, why are you going
Nothing wrong happened.
Yeah, Omega and Wrecker got off on their own and got
that wasn't
Weren't
her
they
fault though.
distracted.
They were supposed to.
No,
Yeah, but
she
they
was
got
planning the
distracted,
thing.
though, by
No.
the stormtroopers or the whatever.
She was supposed to plant the beacon.
Yeah, but weren't they
Or
weren't they delayed or something though?
No, she just like went to plant it, and then a bunch of clones came in, and she was surrounded.
Okay.
So then Tech,
Yeah.
no, not Tech, Fives
Echo.
did the thing to move the crane.
Yeah.
And then it distracted them
that's
away.
right. Okay, and they got.
And then that's when Saw Gerrera came in
Gerrera
and was
showed
like,
up.
I'm going
Yeah.
to blow this thing up.
Yeah, and that didn't really make a whole lot of sense. Like, it just seemed very convenient.
It's more inconvenient, really.
Yeah. I mean, I guess in the sense of
Pretty inconvenient.
I guess in the sense of Saw Gerrera, it makes sense why he would try to take out those targets.
Yeah.
Like classic Saga.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Almost
that's definitely
everybody.
Saw.
It's kind of in
I
line
saw
with
move.
him, where he's like fighting the fight, but he kind of gets in the way of the
Yes.
main character.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
It was just weird,
what are
too,
you
'cause we
doing
haven't seen
here?
him in so
I'm gonna
long.
shoot whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
I
I
guess
didn't mind it.
No, I didn't mind it either. I guess it just like it surprised me because we haven't seen or even thought about him in so long. So all of a sudden you're like, oh hey, Saw Gerrera, I forgot all about you, kind of.
Yeah.
Because we haven't seen him.
I like
since
how they
season one.
keep putting him in though, like in
Throughout
the
all the
background of different
shows.
episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
And-
to like kind of establish him.
And it's just funny because he's in Jedi Fallen Order, he's in
Uh huh.
Rogue One. We'll probably see him.
Mm-hmm.
He's in Andor. Yeah, he's in Andor. He was in
Yeah.
Rebels, Clone Wars,
Coburn.
and now in Bad Batch twice. So like he's been in
Classic
everything.
Freaking Kalani
But he's such a minor character though. Like he never really actually does anything. You know what I mean?
Nope.
He always just
Stands
shows up
around.
and then like is a point of conflict, and then he's like,
Always
okay,
just a
bye.
jerk to the main characters.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's an interesting character. I mean, he definitely brings up good conversations and questions as to how the rebellion should go or the fight against the Empire should go.
Mhm.
But he himself, we never actually really see him do too much, except for just blow stuff up and then disappear. So
Mhm.
Oh, we see him roll the thermal detonator through the prop droidica. Remember?
in
Yes.
Clone Wars,
Clone Wars.
I need to watch those episodes again. It's been a long time since I've seen those ones. Because Ahsoka kind of had a crush on that guy or whatever, right?
Who?
Didn't Ahsoka have a crush on a kid there?
Yeah. Shoot, what's his name?
Yeah, I haven't seen those.
Someone just said his name.
Politician.
Yeah, he was the daughter of the lady that was Padme's friend, Ben Lux Bonteri.
Quadranero?
Thank you. Quadranero.
The Potter.
Quadranero.
Dude, was it you that sent me the "What are you doing"? No, Jim Dodge sent me a meme, and it said, "What are you doing if you wake up and see this at the edge of your bed?" And it was just Ben Quadranero
You
standing
sent
there.
that to me.
Oh, I sent it to you.
Quadranero's lost another power coupling.
I was like, what?
Oh no!
I was like, so yeah. Anyways, but yeah, Tech died though.
Dude,
Yeah,
that was
Like, why couldn't you kill the big dumb one? Why couldn't you kill the big
that
dumb one?
scene. They drew out that scene for it felt like 5 to 10 minutes. Like usually it's like,
Yeah.
oh no, the thing's gonna fall. Oh,
I gotta go
guys,
back.
leave without me.
I gotta go back.
But it was like The thing's gonna fall. Planes are flying in, shooting at you guys. Climb up, Tech. Climb up. Okay, I'm climbing up. Okay, Wrecker. Now Wrecker, step on and help. Oh, Wrecker, you can't do. It was like, oh my goodness.
It was intense, and I kept thinking they were gonna save him too, and they.
And the music was so.
That's the best part of the Bad Batch.
It's better. The music is better than Andor. It's better than Kenobi. It's better than most of this season of Mandalorian. Maybe even most Mandalorian, just because
Mandalorian has like one good theme, and then they just break it up into parts, and it's pretty solid. But like when they do the Mission Impossible music, that sucks.
For Bad Batch?
No, for Mandalorian.
Mando? Yeah.
But like the Mando main theme with like the Western sound, I love it. But
yeah, the music. I mean, remember that episode where you had the giant robotic creature, that the heart of the mountain, whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
the Bad Batch episode.
Yes.
Like that episode, for whatever reason, the music was just amazing.
Yeah. The guy that's doing it, I think, should be in charge of all Star Wars music from here on out. He's like John Williams 2.0.
Yeah, let's figure out who that is. He deserves.
I know.
Deserves recognition.
Star Wars Theory's mentioned him several times.
So the orchestra
Gabe, we were talking
contractor
about you a little bit
is
ago.
Martin Barca.
Yeah,
the
Kinner.
music recordist is
Kevin
Lucas Ludko. He's not. That's weird. He's not mentioned.
Kevin Kiner is the Bad Batch music director. Kevin.
I will
Kiner.
look that up. New Mexico State Police
Sergeant accused of
I've looked up this up before.
Yeah, Bad Batch score writer.
Go, John.
Kevin Kiner, Sean Kiner, Dean Kiner, Peter Lamb, Nolan Markey, and David Glenn Russell.
So he made the theme. I don't know if he's making everything.
Star Wars: The Bad Batch soundtrack on Wikipedia was scored by Kevin Kiner. Produced by Kevin Kiner. Soundtrack for Bad Batch season 1 and 2.
Okay, so maybe he's the one.
I think he's
that's
in
writing
charge
all
of
this
it.
stuff.
Yeah, I think he's in charge. So, but yeah, Tech's death hit hard. But he's probably not.
Dude,
dead.
I got a little choked up just because of how I didn't think I would, and once again, maybe it's just long stressful week, but like it was tense, and the music, without the music, it's not as emotional. So that's one of the reasons why I'm just praising this music so much. But like, man.
So Gabe says the art for Bad Batch this season is the best it's been since Tartakovsky, the original Clone Wars, the Cartoon Network ones, which was just a totally different art style. But I actually would think that Clone Wars Season 7 was better.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, the Mandalorian episodes and the Order 66 episodes were just incredibly shot. I will say some of the landscaping done in Bad Batch is amazing. Like the background that you see is just
Bad Batch
beautiful.
Season 1, Episode 1 was really, really amazing as well.
The crystal
with the
stuff?
No, that was the
Out
Order
in the
66.
snow with-
Oh,
Kanan.
yeah, that was amazing. Gabe, we were just talking about how you're going to do artwork for the show, hopefully. But yeah, that was amazing. And the episodes of The Bad Batch in Season 7 were really beautifully shot, too, where they rescued Echo.
Mm-hmm.
Those are amazing as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good show. When it's good, it's amazing. And I think these 2 episodes are part of it. However, one gripe I will have with it, I hate the character Sid so much, which I guess is a good thing. It means you wrote the character well, because we're supposed to hate her. I told you they'd betray her, or she'd betray him eventually. But it made no sense to me that you're caught in this place where you need help, and you go back to the person that pretty much said you crossed her and you shouldn't have, when you could just go back to the home that you've been living at, and you know everyone loves you there.
Yeah,
go back to Pabu. It made no sense. Like, you can travel in light speed. We've learned in Star Wars lately that light speed means you can get anywhere in the galaxy in under 30 minutes. So I didn't like that. I thought that was kind of dumb that they'd go back to Sid, especially with the Empire hot on their trail. Like, it just didn't make sense.
Maybe it was the medical robot that they...
You don't think Pabu had any kind of medical capabilities?
Not that one works with clones, like, specifically.
Maybe.
That's what it was programmed to do. So,
you mean that one droid?
Yeah.
I don't know.
AZ or whatever.
But did they have
The
any
speed
injuries that
of
were
plot.
specific to clones, though?
Huh?
Did they have any injuries that were specific to clones, though?
I don't know. I think it was for Omega, and it had taken care of Omega, so
Yeah,
maybe
I don't
not.
know. I found it to be a little frustrating personally, but I didn't think
Yeah,
it made
I can
sense.
see that.
Yeah, was that droid just with Sid? Is
I
that
guess they. I don't know why they wouldn't have brought.
then that
it-
would make sense.
I don't know why they wouldn't have brought that droid with them though. Like, why would you leave Easy with Sid? Well, I guess when they left Sid the first time, they weren't planning on being gone forever. So
Right. They kind of decided in the middle of a mission they'll leave her. So
but yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it was sad.
it is sad. He's probably not dead though.
Mm,
If you don't see a body, they're not dead,
dude,
John.
how
if
did
if he falls out into the abyss
Sure,
of
man.
like of mist because they're so
I'm going
far
with it's a kid. I could okay.
D, they'll write it in later.
Please don't
The
bring him back.
the oh Plo Koon. the dude, the Hemlock, Dr. Hemlock.
He's
found
gonna
his
clone
glasses,
him.
right?
He's gonna clone Tech
I think he found his body and he kept his body for sure.
for experiments,
Something, yeah.
and they probably are keeping him alive to experiment.
You think they're gonna
Reanimation,
do
yeah.
what
They-
they did with Echo?
It's probably
Yeah.
something just like that, exactly.
I hope they-
We saw Echo blow up, and he lived. We saw Palpatine thrown down a shaft, and he lived.
Well-
We've seen Reva stabbed through the heart twice and live. Dude, people
Seen
just
a
don't die
clone
in
of Echo.
Star Wars anymore.
I think this one's gonna stand.
I mean, Omega.
I hope it does. Nothing against Tech.
It should.
I like Tech, but if
Yeah.
people just
I
can't
like
die
his
in-
random infusion of romance into this show. Whew, steamy.
Dude,
It's such an
as soon-
awkward scene.
As soon as she was like, "Don't go running off with any pirates or anything," I was like, "That's it. He's dead. He's dead." It was so much foreshadowing that was 100% positive. He was dead.
I was gonna say in the last episode when her and Tech kind of say like did the ladders when they were working together. That's when it was obvious for me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like
Like,
they're just
oh.
injecting a little bit to make it sting a little more, which it had that had no impact. I didn't.
Well,
They're
I
like,
would-
Cool. We got like 5 minutes of a scene, and then the next scene he's going to die.
I would bet money we see Tick again.
TikTok.
That's what Omega calls him. Tick. Tick. I think
Also,
we-
it's really sad. How do you think the voice actor felt that they're killing off his character?
I know it's gotta be depressing,
Dude, like,
he's
you
out of a job now.
You work this show and like for 2 seasons, and they just decide to kill you off.
Yeah, it's gotta be
It's a
tough.
disrespect.
Watch them pay him less now. Like, sorry, you're voicing less characters. You don't pay as much anymore.
Dude, yeah.
Every time
guy,
a clone dies, he loses a little bit of salary. Dude's making like $3 an hour now.
like, remember what the Emperor said about clones, buddy?
They're
Fun
replacing-
fact in voice acting: if you get hired for a show, an episode, they pay you the same up to 3 voices, 3 characters.
Oh, really?
So that's why a lot of the times, Matt Lanter will play Anakin, and he'll play Mandalorian Bayguard or
So they can just save money on
such and such, the cat slaver people,
it. Yeah. They were called Zygerians.
Ligurians. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Those were great episodes too.
Whew. It's a kid show, remember?
Yeah. Oh, dude, murder, slavery. That was great. Those were great episodes. I need to watch those again too.
Drug smuggling?
Overall finale. Oh, we forgot one other thing. Crosshair is still captured. Game. And Omega is captured by the clone commandos. I really enjoyed seeing the commandos in those scenes. I thought
So they're clones?
yeah, they're clones. They are put through more extensive training and more money is spent on them to make them more elite than the regular clone troopers.
Is that why they blew up behind the door? Those two
Yeah.
Blew up behind the door.
at Hunter's door. They were like, ding, 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 ding. Boom.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
When they had cornered Hunter.
I feel like they were
Hunter's
not given the level of expertise that they should have gotten, at least from the books and the games.
Missing all those shots with
Yeah.
them sliding down the pipe.
Like, the books and the games essentially put them on the same level as the Bad Batch. Like, these guys, they would take out whole squads of battle droids, just 1 or 2 guys, and like 4 of them could take out a capital ship. Like these guys were they're the Navy SEALs of the Republic. It's essentially what clone commandos are supposed to be. And I felt like they were just clones with
Fight
more
Magna
armor.
Guards.
Yeah. I would have liked to have seen them be a little bit more capable. They still did some cool stuff here and there, though, however. Hopefully we get to see them more next season. I do think there's going to be like a clone civil war kind of thing or a clone rebellion, so I will look forward to that. But Omega is captured. Bad Batch is reeling. Not really much to do, much to go. Looked like they were going to give up on Crosshair as well. After Tech died, it looked like Hunter was saying to Omega, we're just going to go live out our life and not be soldiers anymore. So I think they were going to give up on Crosshair and realize, we're not going to be able to get to him because they didn't have a way to track the ship anymore because the ship they put a tracker on exploded from Saw Gerrera. So they have no idea where Omega is. They're going to keep looking for her. And then we get this big cliffhanger and reveal that girl was a clone, which I told you she was. You didn't believe me. But I said she was. So, yay, I guess. Now, one theory that I did hear, you guys tell me what you think, is that she tells Omega they're sisters, which gives you a little bit of a question here, because assuming that Boba and Alpha were the unaltered clones, how much older is Boba than Omega? And Omega's older than the Bad Batch as well. So, was she an unaltered clone?
I think she's unaltered.
Yeah, she is.
She has to
There's
be.
another one.
But how much later, though? Are we talking like 10? Because Boba was about 10 years old during Attack of the Clones. And it's 10 years later is Revenge of the Sith, correct? Or is it like, no, it's like six or 7
No,
years.
it's definitely not that
Yeah,
one.
it's like 6 or 7
Wait,
years.
between 1 and 2?
Between 2 and
Or-
3.
Oh, it's
It's like
3 years.
3.5 years.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Omega is essentially close to the same age as Boba. Maybe just a few years younger, right?
Mm-hmm.
So question is this then. This girl is definitely older than Omega by quite a bit. So I'd argue older than Boba, right?
Nah, she's got advanced aging.
You think she has advanced age?
Yeah. Yeah. Or she was just created by Hemlock from the same. Well, no, because she didn't have the. Hemlock hasn't figured out cloning yet. It sounds like.
Yeah.
I think
Or
she. Yeah,
is she the daughter
progressive aging.
of Jango Fett? Not a clone, but a daughter of Jango.
No.
I don't think so. It would be kind of strange, but
I mean,
maybe.
they could. There's nothing to stop them from just
Yeah, I mean
Fine.
that's an option. I don't know if.
dumping it in.
Yeah.
You want to know another thing about theory? I believe this was theory. It was either theory or Thor Skywalker. I don't remember. But one of them were like, it doesn't really make sense to me why Dr. Hemlock would be wanting Omega so much when he has this other girl clone of Jango Fett right there that he could run whatever tests on that he wanted to. I was like, that was never the purpose of why they wanted Omega.
Yeah.
They wanted Omega so that they could use her as leverage against
Nalise.
Nalise. So,
Yeah.
dude, people just aren't as good at fans as we are. It's just,
Our rookies these days.
you think they're closer, Dale, than I thought they were? I mean, she does look like an older teenager, like 17 or 18 or something like that.
Really, I figured she was like mid-20s.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's kind of hard to tell. She's animated.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's like Ahsoka was 18 plus throughout the whole entire Clone Wars.
Oh.
No, she went from like 13 to 16.
Don't think so.
Season 1 to 3? She was like a child. And then season 3, right before they started the Mortis arc, she had her updated.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That was actually when she met Lux Bonteri. She had her updated that first
That's
episode.
right. That's when the show started to really get good.
Yeah.
This end of season 2, halfway through season 3, kind of. Because there was a lot of political stuff in season 3. It kind of sucked. All right. Well, we got a few weeks left. We get to Jedi Survivor. I'm excited about that. Some Lego stuff coming out. Hopefully we'll have some announcements here in May 4th, Star Wars Day. Anything you guys are hoping to see announced? Do you think we'll get a movie
Wait
announcement
for
or a schedule?
updates on the games that they have delayed. So it's not gonna
Yeah.
happen, but it'd be nice.
We got the Ubisoft game.
Yeah, it'd be nice to hear
Knights
about
of the Old
Ubisoft
Republic
game.
remake.
That's,
Or that game.
I feel like Eclipse and the
Those are
Knights of the
probably
Republic
both
are
dead.
so dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eclipse, I know that they actually started hiring people for this year. I did see something
But, like
about
it's
that.
still like 2025 or 2020.
No, probably 2028.
Yeah.
But I do think the Ubisoft game is going to get done though.
Yeah. It sounds like that
Okay.
one will get done next year even,
Mm-hmm.
which is cool.
I hope that's
And
a
it can do
Mandalorian
it,
game, dude.
and it's like wide open world. Like,
McCurran,
it's
we're
a lot
seeing
you can do.
Vision Season 2 this summer.
Yep.
I see. You said like.
Do we know anything about Vision Season 2?
No, they haven't. They haven't released it. I think it's the same studios though, or at least some of the same studios. They're doing several different.
If that's
studios
the
again.
case, I hope some of them do a sequel. I hope we get
Yes.
a mixture of new
Yes.
stuff and sequel stuff.
I would like to see that as well. I really enjoyed
cool.
Visions, at least most of it.
It'd be cool if they actually like started when they did started to hone in on a couple studios to do them rather than just.
I
like,
agree. I would like it to be.
spitball 8 different
Here.
studios,
Let
8
me-
different episodes.
Let me Google it real quick. Studios for Visions.
Cause like the Demon Slayer studio, if you gave them like some Star Wars stuff, like we would be all in for so much like good animation. It'd be wild.
All right, here we go from Collider. Everything we know from Star Wars Visions Season 2. Oh, they have an official trailer? Or yeah, that's not look the same as Vision Season 1. All right, here, I'm gonna play this. I'll just share my screen. Share screen. Share. All right. You guys can see that now?
Yeah.
Whoops.
Came to long ago, a great warrior came to this village and entrusted our ancestors with this. Its power and responsibility now lie with you.
This is all stuff from season 1.
Oh yeah, that's all season 1, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, well here's the article anyways. So there's not a trailer. Great. Man, I need to watch those again. Like the Ninth Jedi, is that what it was called? That was good.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was a
that's
good
the one
one.
I hope gets a sequel.
Yeah, me too.
Wasn't that the one with the girl who had the lightsabers?
Yeah.
And she was
Yeah.
the Ninth Jedi?
All right, in the first iteration of the Vast Majority Studios behind the shorts were from Japan and the United States. The next installment of the series has greatly widened the net, so they have not narrowed it down. Studios contributing to season 2 include El Guiri, Spain, Cartoon Saloon, Ireland, Punk Robot in Chile, Aardman, United Kingdom, Studio Mirror in South Korea, Studio La Cache, France, 88 Pictures, India, Dart Stagio, Japan, and Triggerfish, South Africa. So those are mostly different, aren't they, David?
Those are all different.
Yeah. So I doubt we're going to get any sequels then. Okay,
I'm
so with
so
volume,
big
this is from
Like they can do a lot with an
James
actual.
Wow, executive producer and vice president, said this. With Volume 1, the imaginative mind of Japan's anime industry were on full display. With Volume 2, we expanded our canvas to take audiences on a global tour of some of the most talented creators from around the world. We're so proud to be able to reveal the lineup of studios we've assembled. Every short is incredible, full of heart, scope, imagination, and the values that make stories distinctly Star Wars, all while opening up bold new ways of seeing what a Star Wars story can be.
Yeah. I get what they're going for, but like, they're keeping it way too broad.
One episode called Sith, Screecher's Reach, In the Star, I Am Your Mother, which has tons of very interesting implications, such as Padme possibly turning to the dark side. So that's interesting.
Strange.
Successful Loxon, Emmy Award-winning Julian Chang is working in studio like The Spy Dancer. Award from across the world for his animated short Sheer, and now he's working on 8 pictures. Okay. Veterans, just do. So a lot of this doesn't look like it's going to be connected to too much.
Yeah.
If anything.
Oh, fun fact:
that's fine.
that dude right there was
Yeah.
voiced by Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh, really?
That was one cool thing they did with it is there was a lot of
Different
high
languages
not
too.
high priority actors that were or voice actors that were in each episode voicing people.
Do we have a date for this yet?
I think it's summer. I think it's before Ahsoka.
Star Wars Visions 2 release May 4th. Oh, awesome.
That's funny.
And we're gonna get all of them, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All episodes.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get all of them at the same time.
I just wish they would actually give us a full blown like centralized anime, because
I don't know why
they
you
even,
want it. It'd be good.
They even have like the TIE Fighter. Somebody made the video game, like a hand drawn, cut, fan made anime out of like the TIE Fighter video game, and it's a really good 30-minute, hour-long thing on YouTube that you can watch for free.
I'm sure it would do well.
It's like there's just so much more you can do with the anime style than you can even with like Clone Wars style animation.
Yeah. Well, David, I will say this. I guess Bad Batch season finale, I'm going to give it a 8.5. As a show, I'm going to give it a 7.5. Pretty good ending. I enjoyed it. It was not like blew me away or anything, but the show as a whole was good.
Yeah, I thought it was a lot better than season 1.
Yes, I very much agreed. There were some episodes that just were stinkers. But that's the thing, though.
There was a lot in a row that were
Yes.
stinkers.
When you've got 16, though, I don't mind so much.
It was also they were clumped at the beginning. I felt like 2/3 of the episodes in this were pretty good.
Yep, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
And even the things that weren't didn't pertain to the story, there were still some good ones. But as a whole, the show, when it hits really hard and it's really good. But there are definitely some episodes that stink. But when you got 16, I don't mind so much. But when it's Mando, you've got 1/8 of your season blown away in the first episode. You're just like, ooh. You guys got ratings for me?
I'd probably have to agree with you. Finale was pretty solid. 8.5.
8.5.
High 8.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel good about that. 8.25.
I'd give the
8.5.
finale a 9. I really enjoyed it.
All right, cool. I guess before we move on to nothing else, I did finish the Thrawn trilogy, David. Lesser Evil, I finished last week. Really enjoyed it. Really solid book.
Yeah.
The one where he defeats Jixtus.
Dave hasn't read those.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I've read those yet.
Okay, CJ. I finished those books.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and
Really good.
The one thing that I think disappointed me about it was that maybe two things. He defeats Jixtus and the Grisk, and we're led to believe there's so many more of them, and that this Grisk Empire is going to come and just destroy the Chiss eventually. But we never see anything about that. Other than Jixtus just saying that that's the case, you don't really have any impending doom about them. You know what I mean? He always seemed like he was the top dog. So that didn't really hit home for me. And then also, the second thing was him being sent and banished or exiled, Thrawn being exiled, being his idea. I didn't like the way that went. I would have liked it more if he actually was exiled, which is what I was led to believe in the original trilogy that was written about this, or not the original, but the newer trilogy. When the Empire found him, on his exile planet, Ensign Vanto finds him or whatever. I had thought that the Chiss actually had exiled Thrawn for his actions and that they were mad at him. But to find out, and they did, but to find out that it was more or less Thrawn's idea and they did it intentionally, I felt like that kind of cheapened the consequences and the difficulty for him. Because he more or less could kind of go back and at least have General Bakif on his side.
Yeah, but he would have the whole aristocrat against him. I don't
Yeah.
know. I didn't feel that. 'Cause I felt like he was gonna get exiled anyways
You think
because
so?
the chief guy, I forgot what they're called, was like just hated him.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I felt like he would have just gotten demoted or like stripped of rank.
I think the worst or the best case scenario for him at that point was that he would have been thrown in prison.
Maybe. If you've not read the Thrawn trilogy, there are several of them, but they're really
It is
solid.
duology.
Yeah, they're really solid. I strongly recommend the new Thrawn trilogy.
Yeah.
The current one that I just read was called Thrawn Ascendancy, and then what was the other trilogy, CJ, that's like tied in with that?
That's just I don't know what it doesn't have its own name. It's
Oh, okay.
just the newer.
The Thrawn
New old.
Ascendancy trilogy is really solid. It talks about Grand Admiral Thrawn ahead of when he joined the Empire. So he was part of the Chiss Empire, which is in like the regions of space outside of the Republic and outside of the Empire, like the unexplored space. And as you go into the Ahsoka story, you know some of Thrawn's story from Rebels. But outside of that, if you've not read these books, you don't know a lot about Thrawn. And he's a much darker character than he is in Rebels. A much more complex character, I should say. They kind of make him a hero of the Chiss.
A darker blue.
Yeah, I guess a darker blue is one way you could think of it. But I strongly recommend reading those books. Audiobooks on Audible are fantastic. They're acted out really well. You can
Except
get
one of the books.
Except one of the books, I
Except
will
one
say.
of the books.
One of the books
One
has
with
Padme.
Anakin on
not
the
one of the
cover.
Ascendancy ones.
Skip
Yes.
that
One of the other
one.
ones.
Yes, I strongly
Skip the
recommend
Anakin
skipping
one.
that one. So
If I hear one more time of double vision, I'm
double
gonna have
vision.
I'm gonna freaking
That was
double
awful.
Dude, and then when Vader goes into double vision too.
he's like double vision, I'm just like, oh my.
Yeah, and then there was
That
like
was a rough one.
the bugs or whatever were fighting him. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sucked. Yeah.
The other two are really good.
Yes, they were. Yeah, but one of
And
them
the
was
Pad-
not good.
You had that. You had the Padme voice,
Yeah.
and then like even his.
I don't get
Anakin-
why they don't just bring in like one male voice and one female voice to do the whole
Well,
book.
But I mean, even like his Anakin was
His
not
Anakin was
very
bad.
good. His
Yeah.
It sounded
Anakin was
awful.
like a, like very.
What are you talking
Uh,
about, Master?
Oh no,
Very
that would have
whiny.
been good.
Yeah, very whiny, very like man,
Master.
you took my snack pack from lunch, my lunch money.
But he did that for every time Anakin was
Yes.
talking.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Aunt Master, you took my snack pack. That was my
No.
Lunchable.
Yeah.
He's more of like a whiny bro.
He does
Yo,
voice all
Master.
the characters. He does voice all the
Master, what are you
characters, and he
doing?
generally does a really good job. Like it's the same guy that does all the Star Wars Audible books.
Yeah.
But for some reason, just that one
Mark
book.
Thompson.
But there's two guys.
Yeah, voiced by Mark Thompson. No, it's just one guy.
No, a different guy did
Oh yeah, did Plagueis.
the deep voice.
Yeah, and he
but it's
also
not that
does
guy.
Bane. So Mark Thompson does one, and I forget who the other guy is. But Mark Thompson does a
John
good job.
something.
He does a good job. It's just that one
He does.
book. He
John
does such a
McKeever.
bad job.
He does have like a lot of characters though that just sound like they're just from the deep country, like
Yeah.
deep south.
Eli
Like if they're from
Manto.
the Outer Rim.
Eli Manto.
But
Well-
I thought that guy's voice of the lady Sith that had a crush on Bane, that was decent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
He does good with some women, especially women who are in authority. He does a good job with them because he can like make him a sharp
The
point to
Padme.
where they speak. But Padme,
Yeah,
does
no, Padme
really good.
was just especially bad. I didn't
And,
mind him and the Bane ones at all
And
for
in
any
that
of
same book, the
It was like an old-
governor's
yeah,
the
Governor
governor
Price. Win the price.
Price's friend
Yeah.
was the same Padme voice, and it was real bad again.
That is one
I
part
didn't
of it.
mind that one as much.
Yeah.
wasn't
Sometimes
as
his
bad.
women all sound the same, so like
But-
it can be difficult to know who's who.
Mm.
Or just when you get the bad one, you get the bad one.
I will tell you this, guys. If your mom ever downloads Snapchat, do not accept her friend request.
Okay,
It's
I'll keep that
bad.
in mind.
Here you go. This is what my mom sends me on a daily basis.
This is creepy stuff.
Delete.
This is what I deal with. I get this stuff. I'm like, Mom, please stop.
No, it's
Oh,
fun.
this is weird.
She's like, and she's driving home from Tennessee, so it's just she sits on her phone and sends me this stuff.
Just like bored.
Yes.
You should have her send it to Josh.
She's connecting with the youth.
All right. I think that's all for tonight, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I see that there's people in here. Like the show if you haven't already.
Share
Subscribe.
it.
Tell us about your friends. And as always, may the force be with you.
Your mom's just going ham.